Hello, beautiful people of the internet. I hope that you're having a wonderful Tuesday. I wanted to pop in because we just wrapped up Ready Set Collab. We have our Dream 100 collaborators, which is really exciting. And so we've been starting to get the intake forms ready, and it is going to be me, myself, and I who are matching the different business owners with potential collaborators, which is super fun. And as I was going through today, and again, prepping for some stuff when it came to Ready Set Collab, I just wanted to remind everybody that the world is very small. Like I opened up an email that was from Alice, who met with someone in Nashville last week for our potential sponsorships for podcasts and different things. And what was dope is I opened up the email, and literally, I'm not even joking you, the gal that Alice had connected with, I went to high school with and was on the same soccer team as my sister, okay? The world is small, okay? And I know that I've moved a lot, right? So I guess my, degrees of separation is way less. I feel like it's even less than 6. Sorry, Kevin Bacon. But because I went to 3 different high schools, because I've moved around 12 times in my life, I know a lot of people and my network is wide. And so I say all that to say that you just never know. And that's why you always just create and keep really well-connected networks, because you just never know how that's going to come about in the world. I actually also at that conference went up to the Hilton booth, and the gal was like, "I know you," and I was like, "Interesting," because again, this conference I went to was like 4,500 people. It's not geared towards online business owners at all, and yet I walk up to my first booth at Hilton to talk to somebody about sponsorship, and she already knew who I was because she had worked at a store with my sister-in-law, right? And I just, it's always, I don't know why I keep getting surprised that this is the case, because I do know a lot of people. However, I just want to remind you that when you are just in your own realm and not getting out there and not opening yourself up to connections and opportunities, that you never know how actually close you are to those opportunities until you start connecting with people. And there's so many low-hanging fruit connections that you may not even know are available to you, because you are stuck in this mentality of, oh, I just have the people that are right in my sphere, instead of thinking about who you went to high school with, or who your sister-in-law knows, or whoever knows, right? And it's funny, my first VIP Day client actually also came from my best friend since I was born. So again, I get constantly reminded about how relationships truly are what build a business. And I am such a fan and proponent of collaborations and relationship marketing, because I am a advocate, and that's also how I build my business, right? I'm not telling you to go do relationships and then all I'm doing is Facebook ads, right? So I'm congruent with what I'm telling you to do and what I do, because I've been doing it since the very, very beginning of the business, right? Exactly. Yes, Facebook ads are cool, and organic social media and all that stuff. I have no hate for any of those things, and I have done those things and will continue to do those things. And business happens with people, and it can happen quicker than you're even ready for. And so not to get overwhelmed with, again, having to connect with people and figure out who is going to be an advocate of yours, or referral, or affiliate, or joint venture partner, or whatever. But to realize that, number one, so many people want to help you in business. And number two, the help that you need usually isn't that many degrees away, right? You probably know somebody who knows somebody that could help you with your business right now. Or again, 2-3 degrees. That's not that far. you know? And so, I just want to encourage you, if you're in a space of like, okay, I'm having to like really, make some moves in my business and it's taking a hot minute, like I really encourage you to start just talking to different people about it and see what comes up, right? Because again, if someone's talking to me about what they need, like for example, I was talking to a friend this morning about, she was wanting to find a mastermind that was going to support her as a life coach and help with sales. And like a name immediately came to mind to me. And I was like, here's who you should go to. And it's funny because she found her way there anyway and was like, I'm thinking I'm going to go with this person. I was like, yes, 100% yes. Go with that person. That's who you need to go with. And that's how business is done. And while, yes, you can automate and do all these funnels and things, which again, I'm a huge fan of and have no issues with. And just by her talking to me about what she's thinking about and what's going on, I was able to direct her to a really great resource for her, right? And so I just think everyone is so much closer to their goals being met if they were able to connect and start building relationships. I like truly, literally in my heart of hearts believe that. Rose, yeah. Which platforms would you say the majority of your business relationships here come from? Oh my gosh. So I probably would say it's either probably like Instagram or events, probably. Either one of those two, I would say. Just because, again, like when I like speak somewhere and I get connected to somebody or whatever else, like it all is intertwined. Like, and it's in person is one of the quickest ways for sure. Not to say you need to go to all the events, but that definitely was the quickest relationship builder for me. But again, and then Instagram, like I'd be DMing people all up in the wazoo, as much as I can. With DMs though, it can get a little tricky because it's a mess back there. So I have a lot of like well-meaning conversations that I just can't get back to because it's a little bit of a madhouse. But totally powerful and precious. I appreciate that. People truly overlook the relationships around them. Yeah, y'all think that it's like, okay, I need to get on Amy Porterfield's podcast and that's what will like build my, you know, my audience because she has a big audience. And if I even get 1% of her audience, that's like a bajillion people. And I was talking to somebody and she said I could use her story, but she has been on the Amy Porterfield podcast. She also has spoken at events like Rachel Rodgers and such. And guess what? Those are not the places that she got clients. Those are not the places that she built a ton of leads up. It's the peer-to-peer relationships that actually brought results. And I believe that wholeheartedly. This is not to knock people who have big audiences. Again, like whatever, size is size. But what I want to encourage you about is the fact that you don't have to try and seek out these massive platforms just to get your business the visibility and the authority that you're looking for. It's all in peer-to-peer. Man, that is how I built my business for reals. Like, is who's like literally directly right and left of me and how can we support each other, right? Like it truly, I'm so glad, Rose. Like, yeah, like it can all happen in here. And there's so many people who have invited me onto their podcast and we became friends. People who have had me be a guest expert, people who have referred folks to me. And it all comes from, again, just like wanting to provide value and it not being about tit for tat, you know? And I think people get too caught up in this idea that, oh my gosh, I have to have a big following to be of value to somebody, or I have to pay them money to be value for somebody or whatever. And that's just not the case. Like whenever I've chosen speakers for our events or things like that, I do not care how many followers they have on Instagram. I don't care if they are, you know, like have a best-selling book or whatever else. Like, in fact, I probably haven't brought those folks onto my stages, not because they don't deserve it, but because that's just not my focus. So I think that focusing on who's directly around you and who's in your sphere, who is 1 or 2 degrees away from you, can take your business really, really far. And to not get wrapped up in shiny vanity metrics and all that stuff, because again, a lot of these people have really big lists and all this stuff, but nobody opens their emails, right? So there's just a lot of smoke and mirrors, and I want to encourage you, if you haven't in Q1 really put a focus on the relationships you're building, that I encourage you to put a little bit more focus on it in Q2, because I'm telling you right now, like, the riches are in the relationships. That's what I say. And that's not in a sense of, taking advantage of your relationships and using people, because that's literally not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying that when you are able to identify people who either have similar audience matches or your values match, or you really just admire that person, like, so much can happen, like exposure, authority building stuff, money, leads, etc. And not everybody has that same philosophy, but that's just the philosophy that I have around it. So Rose, what values matter to you when you're personally networking with people? Yeah. What is most important to me when it comes to values are that these people are committed to their business, but also committed to a mission. It doesn't have to be, save the dolphins or anything, but that there's a meaning behind why it is that they're working so hard in their business or focusing on helping clients or customers. It's not just like creating a business just to make money or to, do whatever. Like, I like connecting with people that have a really, are just really interested in and passionate about the people that they're helping. And again, listen, I love money. Money makes the world go round. We all need it in our business, right? And I think that that's where networking and relationships can get really slimy or opportunistic, is when people are just saying things like, I was talking with hi Jessica, I'm so excited that you're in Ready Set Collab. I saw you come through yesterday. And I was actually talking to my team member Cole, and I was like, man, like, what is the difference? Because we get pitched all the time, and for a variety of things. And right, we have an event coming up in September called Make Your Mark in Dallas. And we've gotten different pitches for different things. And some of them have been heck yeses. And some of them have been like uninspiring, I'll say. So I was like, what is the difference? Like, truly, because they don't seem that different when you look at them both, right? And so, again, Cole on my team, she does systems, and she actually went down to Austin with me for a client retreat that we did last week. And so she was stuck in a car with me for 3.5 hours and got to answer all sorts of philosophical questions that that I was throwing her way. And I was like, this is so, like, I was like, I don't know if I can articulate the difference. Like, I don't know if I can really show people why I chose this one over that one, because I had relationships with both of the people, like all this stuff. Like, one of them just didn't feel good, and the other one was like, oh my gosh, yes, like, this totally makes sense. And Cole, so I was explaining the two to Cole, and I was like, what do you hear when I like tell you about those two? And she said one was very like benefits focused, and the other one was very me centric. And so we kind of talked about what that looks like, right? And how that comes across. And so what that looked like was, and again, I'll just give like a basic example, but one person said, hey, I want to do this partnership, and here's like how it will benefit your audience, and here's how it will relate to the topic in which you're looking to put out there in the world, and here's how it aligns with them building their authority, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, it was obviously, that she was getting benefit from it as well. but it like, again, she was very forward about how this was going to help my audience in the areas that I wanted it to help my audience and how it was moving forward the mission that I had for my event. The other person said, hey, I see you're doing an event. I don't know if you have something in the mornings before your event, but here's things that I do that, again, can help start their day great, right? And so there was a list of things that this person did, and that was basically it. And so again, I was like, how would I have made that second one more intriguing and compelling to me? And here's what I thought. So I was like, if somebody came to me and said, hey, make your mark. And again, I guess, I'm putting it out here, but if you do this, like, I'll know that you listened. But I'm seeing that you have Make Your Mark Live coming up, and it's really focused on networking and connection. And one of the things that gets people stuck in connection and networking is courage and confidence and being able to talk to people, right? And so there may be an opportunity for you to create space in your event programming for a way to build up someone's confidence and courage in order to have more connections and conversations at your event. I do this by doing this confidence and courageous session thingy. And again, this will help your attendees have more meaningful conversations while they're in person. Does it sound of interest to you, right? That would have been more intriguing to me and compelling and would have made me stop and have my team reach out versus, hey, you're doing this event. I know you may have the mornings available. Here's all the things I could do for your people in the morning. Does that make sense? I hope so. I know this thing is delayed, but I'm so glad. Well, I hope it's good tears, right? Hearing what you're sharing confirms so much for me. I'm so glad. Like, it's those little differences. It's like, okay, you know what my event is about. You have determined what is most beneficial for my audience and for me, and you're aligning what you do with my mission, right? Versus it coming from just a very like me situation, which I get. Like, it's not like I'm saying don't be obvious about like the fact that you want to partner with us. Like, I have no issues and welcome many partnerships. It's all about relationships, right? And the thing with relationships for me is it has to be a win-win. And if I'm having to guess where my win is with that, then it doesn't feel like a win-win. Basically, is how I feel. So I just want to come on here and encourage y'all in Q2. I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what you're looking to do. But if you are feeling stuck or whatever else, go and connect with people. It can be people that you already know and just talk to them and get back familiar with what they've got going on in their business and what you have going on in your business or life or whatever the case is. And see what happens. Like, see the fruit that it bears. And it may seem really silly to you. It may seem like not the best use of your time. However, I think that there's probably some hidden gems that you're overlooking just because you're, again, thinking that it has to be these like perfect, big authority building relationships when that's literally never been my thing. Rose, what's interesting is that I think most service providers do care about their audience's needs and benefits. They just don't know how to properly communicate it. Exactly, Rose. Exactly. That's the piece, right? You have to be able to articulate the win-win, because if you can't articulate the win-win, like you just saying that you could do a session for my attendees in the morning, I could do a session for my attendees in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So I have to understand what really this win-win is. Why my clients do flips to hear you say this. When I'm coaching them on pitches, I share those same insights. Sometimes they listen, right? Sometimes they listen. Other times they feel pressure to establish their something. I don't think I got the rest of that. Oh, credibility. They end up sounding so self-centered. So thank you for dropping these gems. Yes, we'll share this with your clients. Because as somebody who wants to connect and wants to build relationships and wants to share my stage and my platform for other people, like I want to be made aware of opportunities that my audience can benefit from other people. I'm not the kind of person that like is trying to soak up all the sun and have my name in lights and whatnot. Like, I recognize I have a platform, and I believe it's my duty as a leader to share that platform. I actually studied servant leadership in college. I actually have my minor in it and my master's in it. That's how much I'm obsessed with it, because instead of having this like leader top-down approach, I very much have it flipped, where like me as the leader is like, okay, how am I going to use the resources and assets that I have in order to benefit the people that I serve, right? Servant leadership. So I've studied that very heavily, and I believe in that very, very much. And I think that's one of the differentiators that we have at System Save Me, is the fact that we share our spotlight, when we share our stages and our community with people. Like, it's not just the Jordan show. And I don't pretend that it is. I talk about my team all the time, because they're the ones that are doing a lot of hard work. And again, like, my clients are awesome. And even last week when I was at my client retreat, like, they all were like, man, you know how to curate a room. And it's because I really only want to be around like smart, kind, genuine, generous business owners. And so therefore I use my spidey senses to ensure that that's how that happens. So we all have those spidey senses, whether we tap into them or not. It's available to us. So anywho, this is way longer than I thought I was going to stay on here, but you guys asked really great questions. So I hope that you enjoyed this. If you think somebody would benefit from hearing how they can do better with pitches or invitations or things like that to folks who have stages and communities and opportunities to share the spotlight, I would love that. I really appreciate it. So, well, thank you so much. I do live videos every once in a while, so I don't have like a standing time. But thank you. Yeah, it's, I want to know your name too, Intentional Conversationalist. Maybe we've DM'd and stuff before, because the name looks familiar, but I can't process what your first name is. So anywho, I'm going to go back to chit-chattering with my clients and finishing up for the rest of the day. And yeah, but I just felt really called to come on here and share this, because I want people to truly, Nina, perfect. Nice to meet you, Nina. And Paulina. Oh, it is you, Paulina. I was like, that looks like Paulina, but it says Rose Grotto Media, and then I didn't recognize it. So anywho, hi Nina, and hi Paulina. So good to see you again. And yeah, hope y'all have a good rest of your Tuesday, and speak very, very soon. Bye y'all.